It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
Hello viewers, welcome to Street Matters on GOLDEDGETV. I'm your host, Alexandra Odekian. So right here we are at Ikeja, Lagos. We're here to hear the opinions of Lagosians on some ethical matters. Would you do a DNA test for your son? And what will you do if you find out your spouse is having an affair outside your marital life? And also, based on the growth in the decrease in the value of our culture in Africa, how do we curtail these European cultures taking over African cultures?
The colonization does not end in it's not only political colonization. There is mental colonization.
I call those foreign cultures, I call it evil because it is not helping us.
Take the part that you feel is okay for you and use your church mind.
Let's go back to our history. Let's teach our children because that's where the problem comes in.
Anything that is good is Oyibo. Black market. Anything that is not good is black.
Doesn't mean you didn't trust me. I think that's what is trending today. DNA everywhere.
Look at what is happening nowadays. Many marriages were broken because of the issue of DNA. And it's very.
I'm married. 35 years experience.
Jesus. Let's assume your 30-year-old child is not a biological child. What would you do?
In the first place, I won't bother to go and confirm anything because at this level, it will have serious effect in my matrimonial home. Sure, understand. Even if in a situation where I know, and I try to look at the effect of a scattered home, I will overlook it. But definitely, I will not go and do any verification because Yoruba man will tell you pé teti o ba gbọ́ yín no kì í bàjẹ́. That is, if you don't have, somebody does not give you bad information, you will not be sad. Share your understand. So it's better you don't even go and do any verification. But for the young couples, well, anybody that wish to do that confirmation, it's all well and good. But for me, I don't think it is necessary.
Let's assume your marriage has been for 8 years now, like you said, and you have children. Assuming your husband decides that he wants to do DNA test on your children, how would you feel? What would be your reaction?
It will look like something must have broken the trust in that relationship. Are you getting it? A lot of things would have happened. So, but I don't know. Because I know myself and I know my spouse, I don't think there will be any need for such. But if it now happens, people influence people. And somebody now say, well, some people may be against your family things and they say they should carry. Oh, fine, sure, there's no big deal. It's good. It's good to get facts and figures right. So if you think you have any form of suspicion, you are good to go. And when you go there and it confirms that you are the owner of your child, congratulations to everybody.
You've been married for like how long now?
Like 12 years.
12 years. Imagine your 12 years old marriage, like you already have kids definitely. Now imagine you find out that your children, the children you have with your spouse, they are not actually your biological children. You're not the father of those children. What would you do?
It's an unfortunate incident in that case. But I'm a Christian, quite all right. If such a thing happens, honestly, I'll seek God's counsel.
Marriage, there should be truth. And that has been my own orientation about life. If you wish to do so, though there might be an iota of doubt that what do you mean by that? Doesn't mean you didn't trust me. I think that's what is trending today. DNA everywhere. But then I might feel bad, but then I can go ahead to do anything he wants to do. But as far as I know that there is no infidelity in the marriage, I will not be shaken.
Can you do DNA for your children?
It's possible because the situation now demands that one has to do it for children because conformity of the ownership of children is now very important.
Okay, so how long have you been married, sir?
My marriage should be about 21 years with her.
Wow. So for 21 years, that means let's say your kids are at 20 years and above. Yeah. So let's assume that you discover your 20-year-old kid is not your biological child. What would you do?
allow halam. I give it to God. Since I still have life, I'll continue my life. There's no need for suicidal or whatever.
If I discover that that child is not my sibling, is not a biological child, I will take action. The action that I will take, I will go to court or any hospital nearby. If I discover that the child does not belong to me, I can reject it. I can reject the child.
What would you do if you find out your spouse, apparently, your wife, apparently, is actually having an affair? What would you do?
Affair with another man.
Another man, yes, exactly.
That's a difficult.
That's the society we find ourselves in Nigeria currently now. So what would you do?
Well, if such a thing happen, I'll rather tell her to go and live with that person. If the person is having an affair with, I'll ask her to go. As a Christian, the Bible did not permit divorce, but in that case, we'll be separated.
But not divorced.
Not divorced.
But separated.
Yeah, based on the biblical injunction, I will not, but we'll be separated because I can die before my time if such a thing happens.
Okay.
I will not be happy, and I would want to go to an extent of calling it quits in the journey of the marriage.
Wow.
Yeah. Because even if it happens that way, I say I want to go to an extent. I might not even call it, even calling it quits might not be the solution. I might not be that immediate, but then it will be so painful that I want to call it quits, meaning that I'm not important to you. You are not interested in the marriage again.
Biblically, it's not acceptable to divorce. You guys can separate for a while. Separation is always the best option. Biblically, it's not accepted that you divorce yourself. So, on your question, pick the one that you feel is okay, that you know yourself that okay, when I do this, when I am alone, not thinking of what any other person thinks, I won't be saying why did I do? I should have not do this. Like you be putting yourself at fault for it.
There's nothing to fear about again. It is news every now and then. I read in the news yesterday. We continue to read for every day the infidelity in women, in men, and once you make up his mind that since it's happening, well, there's nothing one can do again. We give it to God. I'm telling you, life is upside down now.
Honestly, what can you do? You know, the marriages for better, for worse. So you just have to bear it and forgive. You know, the African culture seems to permit the man to practice infidelity. You understand? But our belief as Christians, I'm talking you're not supposed to. You understand? But when you now find that your spouse has fallen, well, you need courage. You need grace to be able to uphold the person so that it doesn't scatter. You need tolerance. Let me tell you, there's no perfect marriage anywhere. There's no perfect man anywhere. There's no perfect woman anywhere. Your home will not scatter. Your home will not spoil. Your children will not be raised from a broken home. You forgive and everybody move on.
My reaction is to allow her to go and settle herself somewhere. I won't bother to marry another person. But we will continue to be wives and husband, but we will not be able to live. I will not allow a situation where we live together. You know why? It's because the moment I see her, I will remember what she has done, and that will have effect on me. But if she's somewhere else, that maybe I see her casually, she can still remain my wife because I can't have any other issue at this time. But we cannot live together. But we will not divorce.
Over there, once they embark on such things, there could be returns for them. But here, there's no return, no. It's in short, damage, no manfa. I'm sorry. You understand? So please, I think we need tolerance. We need to be able to tolerate ourselves the more. Patience is very, very key. It's a virtue we must all covet. If you are patient, look, sometimes it could be very, very crazy. Your partner can do something and you like, look, I've got this, I'm done. I want to quit. But you know what, you now remember, there are kids there to raise. There's a family. The family is the nation. And so if it scatters, the nation itself is going to have problems. So when you look at all those things, you say, okay, fine. I give up on, I'm not giving up on my marriage. I'm not giving up on my spouse because of my children. Let's stay.
the rate at which European culture is taking over African cultures, some things we used to do before, we don't do them again. Some things that don't occur in the normal African home is now occurring due to the intake of the European culture. What are your advice for fellow Nigerians?
We should uphold our culture. We should cherish and value our culture. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to our history. Let's teach our children, because that's where the problem comes in. Our children, most of them, they don't know what is culture again. And some of us, all these are culture, they are good heritage that we need to uphold. But then it's fading away. So let's go back to our culture. Though there are some bad culture we need to discard, and there are some ones we need to uphold, and not just bringing in any foreign culture. Let me use my tribe as an example. Sometimes they believe that this inter-ethnic marriage is not good. Some parents tomorrow they will say, no, don't bring an Igbo boy. If you're Igbo, don't bring an Igbo boy that wants to marry. So things like that. There can be inter-ethnic marriage. There should be love. There should be oneness in the country.
As at now, it is. Even our dressing.
Our women are taking over the European culture dress and leave our own way of dressing in Africa. That one is very obvious. All this, I don't know what they call it, this short dress where you see their abdomen, or women wearing nika, wearing jeans. They are European culture, it's not our own. Our own is Buban and Euro. We shouldn't leave that. We should go back to our own. We should be dressing the way we should in Nigeria. We should not totally be borrowing European way of dressing. It's not good for us.
Our forefathers, they didn't observe any European culture, and they can make it. We can even observe our traditional here to follow our culture. That would have been better rather than to follow European culture. So by doing all this Onyibo character, it cannot help us in our country. It cannot help us. We have to follow our forefather and traditional culture. As far as I'm concerned, I cannot follow Onyibo to our own culture in this our environment. I cannot follow it. Even if I can travel out, I will make sure to do whatever I like in anything that is custom me in my country. If I travel out, I will continue to do it. We are not the same. God created everybody by his own image. I cannot follow Onyibo more than our culture here. I can't.
There is mental colonization, in the sense that we have a very rich culture that the white men should come and copy, while we copy science and technology from them. But we are now living our own rich culture to the animalistic culture of the white. I mean, it is very saddening. There is social where you see our women going about naked. If you ask them, what do they derive from that? In those days, you cannot see the open chest of a woman or her back. But now, because they see some things, the white man doing it, maybe on television or Facebook or whatever, they feel whatever the white man does is the best. Whereas it's not. God that created us in different environments and gave us the way of life that is suitable to where we find ourselves. Sure, you understand? You can imagine now, the white men wear suits, not because they love to wear suits, it's because that the area is very cold. Sure, you understand? We come here now, even under the intensive sun, we still wear suit. And so we'll be suffering in silence. Sure, you understand? So does it make sense? Must we copy other people's culture that is not suitable to our environment? I mean, it is part of colonial mentality. We have been colonized mentally. If you see a very good orange now, they will say orange Oyibo, also Oyibo. Anything that is good is Oyibo. Black market. Anything that is not good is black. I mean, it's a mental colonization. Why can't we cherish our own culture? Why don't we believe in ourselves? Where are we human beings in the first instance? Because as a human being, you're supposed to, your mental reason should be high. You should be able to know what is good for you and what is bad for you. As far as I'm concerned, the culture of the white, it is animalistic. And we don't have to copy it. Instead, they are supposed to copy our culture. So that is my position. That this is the effect of the colonization, which is still prevailing up to today.
It is bad, and I think I want to tell those who are involved, we have a tradition, we have a culture. As long as it is not against God's purpose, God's will, nothing bad about it.
All right, guys, it's been an amazing and wonderful time on Street Matters on GOLDEDGE TV. We've heard diverse opinions of Lagosians on these issues. Now, to keep up with us, can you subscribe to this channel? Click the notification button to be notified each time we post new videos on trending topics. I would love to see you next time. Thank you.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.